You're listening to Power Talk, Berkeley Electric Cooperative's official broadcast about the cooperative, our communities, and ways to use energy wisely. And now, let's join our hosts for today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Power Talk. I am your host, Micah Ponce, the Communications and Media Specialist here at Berkeley Electric Cooperative, and I am joined today by Miss Libby Roig, the Director of Marketing and Communications. Hello, Libby.
Good morning, Micah.
We got a full house.
We do.
We got
a good show.
Everybody's at the table today. So for those of you who don't know, we are on YouTube. So if you want to see who's sitting at the table, make sure you go to BEC's YouTube channel and check us out. We got some handsome looking fellows minus me. So speaking of, welcome Kevin and Nick. Welcome to the show. Kevin Mizzell is our Director of Operations for the Operations Manager, I should say, here at Moncks Corner District Office. And we have Nick Adams, the Director of Compliance at the Electric Cooperatives of South Carolina. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
New to the show.
New to the show, man.
Well, when you're new to the show, we got to torture you a little bit. You gotta give us a little bit of background, who you are, how you ended up where you were, where you are, where you came from, all that kind of good stuff.
What choices you made that were good and bad.
We don't have enough time for that today. I want to go longer than 30 minutes. Well, I'm Nick Adams, born and raised in Clover, South Carolina. Graduate of Lander University, 05. After that, I got back into the construction field and did some grading and land clearing, and economy flopped in 08, so I got on with the co-op, fortunately, and started with York Electric Co-op, worked for them for 8 years, and been with statewide since then, since 2016. It's going on 8 years now.
Yeah.
So,
well, welcome.
thank you.
And clover, clover is appropriate because it's spring.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Lots of clover everywhere coming up anyway.
Kevin says this is God country, and that's God country for me up there.
There you go. Well, spring here in South Carolina, it means lots of things. Like I said, flowers, turkey season, pollen, of course, which I'm sure we're all just looking forward to that.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah, it's already here. Already having to wash the car on a daily basis, or just give up for the next couple of months. Basically, is.
And once the pollen clears out, it'll be 100 degrees, and you won't want to go outside then either.
But pollen aside, it's also time for the season of the South Carolina Lineman's Rodeo, which is our whole topic today. So, Berkeley Electric, we've been a participant in some way, shape, or form in some of the rodeos here in the state for a long time. But the South Carolina Lineman's Rodeo is relatively new, and Berkeley is going to be hosting it for the first time ever. So we're very excited about that. It's going to be on Saturday, March the 16th, here at our headquarters in Moncks Corner. And both of you have been involved in this event, I'm sure, on some capacity for quite some time.
A few years.
It's not their first rodeo.
There you go.
It's not.
But
It's your first rodeo.
It is my first rodeo. I'm very excited about this.
Not mine. I've been to a couple of them, but first time actually sort of like participating on a more, getting into it.
Yeah, the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
Definitely not hands on, but behind the scenes.
No.
Yeah. You don't want my hands on anything to do with line work. Well, guys, rodeo, share. Kevin, what's your favorite part of rodeo season?
For me, just the camaraderie of all the co-ops in the state, just coming together and showing their skills and letting their families, see what they do on a daily basis. And it's just a great day for family, and we just hope we have good weather.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's an outside event, kind of hard to do pole climbing inside, so we definitely want to make sure we have plenty of nice weather, not too much pollen,
I think the rain's going to take care of that.
Yeah, well, between here and there, I'm sure there's going to have a couple showers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, like Kevin, you've been involved. Is there anything that you look forward to when it comes to the rodeo?
Well, I can tell you on two ends. When I was at the co-op, I looked forward to competing. I looked forward to the competition, so that was my big thing. Very competitive person, always have been. But now being in a different role, I really look forward to seeing all the sons and daughters out there get to see their dads and moms participate in this rodeo. So the family thing, kind of what Kevin said, it's really cool to get to see them, and they're sitting there pointing up at daddy on a pole or things like that. So that's what I really like.
Well, and during a major outage, line work can mean a lot of long hours away from their families.
Exactly.
So it really is a unique opportunity to get to watch what Dad does.
Exactly. It's a really, really unique opportunity, and that's, something I'm glad my son got to see me do. He was very little, but he's helped out with us every year. We've been doing it since the co-ops have started it, so he really enjoys coming.
Yeah.
He won't be present this year. He'll be in a fishing tournament. So,
But I'm sure your son's going to be around.
Yep, Evan is participating.
Yeah,
So,
he did well last year, didn't he?
Yep, he did well last year, so he's looking forward to another year. So we got a good turnout this year.
very good.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, you mentioned, it's relatively new. What is this? How many annual is this for us?
This is the fourth one we've done.
All right, fourth
As a
one that the
co-op.
electric cooperatives of South Carolina
Exactly.
have done.
Exactly.
And so the folks who take part in this are pretty much all electric cooperative employees. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Well, I mean, and you've given me several good segues for Clover and then talk about how competitive you are because, in the end of the day, this is a competition. It's a friendly competition, but, we're going to have linemen from literally all over the state coming here, and they're going to be competing in one of two divisions. We have apprentice, and then we have the journeyman, correct?
Correct.
All right. So for those of us who aren't, well versed in
What's the difference?
yeah, what's the difference? What makes the difference between a journeyman and an apprentice?
Yep. You want to get that? Or you want
Sure. Well, we have set guidelines for an apprentice competitor. They have to have less than 5 years overall total line work experience, and that includes contractor work. Beyond that, they can compete as a journeyman. Apprentice can compete as a journeyman if they want to. They can be part of a team. The journeyman side is a 3-man team. So if they decide to do that early on, they can. But most of them stick with that under 5 years and stick to the apprentice side in the apprentice division. And then most of the times after that, if they continue to compete, still have that competitive drive, they'll hop on and create their own journeyman team.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of apprentices, they try to stick for the 5 years just to get more experience and exposure to it, and because it's different from a typical day at work doing the rodeo, so it is it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's a little bit different, but I mean, essentially they're doing a lot of the same things they would normally do in their everyday lives, working on the lines. But I mean, what makes it different, I guess? What are some of the aspects that make it not your everyday?
A couple hundred people watching them, I guess.
Well,
That would be the first thing.
Yeah, a couple 500 people watching them do this stuff. So they got that added pressure.
Yeah.
I would say I think the biggest thing is they're put under the pressure of time. And we're trying to work safe, and that's the ultimate goal at the end of the day for those guys to work safe, guys and gals to work safe out there and do it in a timely manner. But I think what really, in my opinion, what helped me is it helped me be more efficient at the work.
Yeah.
And I think the rodeo does that for a lot of individuals that compete in it.
Yeah, I'm sure it really hammers home, like you said, the primary thing that we want to emphasize is safety.
Absolutely.
We obviously want them to be efficient out there and do the job as quickly as possible. But at the end of the day, these folks have to come home to their families.
Exactly.
So they've got to go out there and they've got to work safe overall.
So on Saturday, they're definitely sharpening their skills, up on the pole or whatever that contest requires. But on Friday, the less visually exciting, they both have written exams. What does that cover?
It's front to back to the safety manual.
Ah,
Yeah, pretty much.
well,
So the test comes from our safety manual.
Okay.
So and they have to put their nose in a book and try to figure out what the test is going to consist of.
interesting.
I will say that it's going to be more geared towards what their day-to-day operations are, some of the safety rules and things that they know. So it's not going to be geared, outside the scope of their work. It'll be geared more to that. And we have a great person to put those tests together.
Yes,
Miss
we do.
Peggy Danzler,
Ah.
she does a great job putting those tests together for those guys. So she really makes them think.
And this is our first year that Journeyman's having that
Exactly.
written test.
Okay.
And you ought to
First
heard all
year.
the cuss
Oh.
words I heard toward us when all that took place.
They told us they loved us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In a lot of
Yeah.
different languages, exactly.
They said, you're number one.
Sure did.
Number one in my book there.
But all jokes aside, having a written exam on the safety manual, I mean, you can't get any more safety focused than that.
Exactly, you can't. We've had one for the apprentice division 2 out of the 4 years, I think. 2 out of the 4 years we've done it.
Yep.
This is the first for the journeyman team. The apprentice kind of know that they're going to be tasked with, tackling the test on the safety manual because they're up and coming. They need to know those safety rules, as well as the journeyman do too. That's why we're doing it this year.
Yep.
Now this is going to be bragging rights for the apprentice against the journeyman. Now that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So how do the journeymen put their teams together? Is it crew based or just their friends?
Yeah, a little bit of both. We've got some that have teams for us that work together daily, and then we've got some that want to have a team, and somebody else wants to have a team, and they just kind of get together. So we've got one guy from Monk's Corner and 2 guys from Johns Island.
Oh, fun.
So, kind of mixed it up.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, they don't sound like they're looking forward to the written test, but so, what events do the participants in each division really have to look forward to this year beyond that?
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday when we get to the real meat of the program, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, they got the apprentice has got, the written test, and they have trying to think, the security light change out,
The security light replacement.
Yep. And then they've got the EPZ grounding.
Yep.
And then a mystery.
Mystery event.
Yep. And then the journeyman has a mystery, written test, transformer change.
An overhead transformer change.
And overhead and underground.
And underground.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
So they get to test both skills this year.
Nice. So what goes into deciding the mystery event?
It's a couple of us get together and just hash out some ideas, and we just kind of all agree on which one we want to do. We've done mystery just the third year.
I think it's the third year.
Yeah,
I think the first year we didn't have it, and after that we said we're going to try to do that.
Yeah.
I want to see all of them mystery events.
It'd be a lot easier on us.
There's a mystery you'll figure out day of.
You'll know when you get here. Won't get so many questions.
Yeah.
And the idea behind that is it's just something that they can't train for, because these guys get out in the field and they train specifically for the rodeo. So they have a surprise event.
Yep. And it's it's definitely something they've done in the past, but they don't know what they're gonna.
Yeah.
And they try to figure it out, But
I was about to say, there's the grapevine that Linemen have. I mean, I'm sure it's burning up with everybody trying to figure out what it's going to be so they could get that extra little bit of practice.
Yeah.
A little practicing. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Well, the line workers are, probably the most visible, employees we have here at the co-op, and people love them and appreciate them. And this is going to be a great chance for those folks to come out and really, really show their support. They especially love them during an outage.
Oh yeah.
We actually, I think, we had a whole bunch of little lockouts this weekend, so we're getting into that spring storm season where we're dealing with that kind of stuff on a daily basis. So it makes folks a lot more aware of line work, because most of the time they do such a good job that you don't even really think about it until you turn the switch on. You don't have that power there. So this is going to be a really good idea to get safety and efficiency and reliability at top of mind.
Because it is a dangerous, high stakes job that requires years of training and on the job experience. So a rodeo event like this is fun for the spectators, but it also helps them just further sharpen those skills and be better at their jobs.
Absolutely.
It's a training opportunity. That's the way I've always looked at the rodeo. So it's a big training opportunity for the folks that participate in it.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking safety and whatnot. I'm sure safety standards are always changing. Over the last few years, have there been any big changes to safety protocols? Because I remember, I've been here long enough. I remember when they introduced the buck squeeze, which is an additional safety belt that sort of changed the way the guys had to climb poles. Do we have different standards, or is it pretty much set, or has there been any sort of introduction over the last couple of years, anything that throws them a curveball?
I can't think of any. The biggest thing, when the buck squeeze got introduced to the rodeo, is just properly adjusted and different things like that. We had to keep an eye on, because, it's a rodeo. They're trying to do whatever they can to become faster, and just keeping an eye on the adjustment of the buck squeeze is, a lot.
Exactly. So, I can't think of anything right off the top of my head that may have changed industry-wise.
Well, for those folks who are familiar with them, the little terms we're throwing around, what exactly does a buck squeeze do?
It's a fall arrest where it keeps the lineman, if it's adjusted properly, from falling to the ground.
Okay.
Yep. So they shouldn't, if it's adjusted right, they shouldn't fall no more than about 2 foot.
Right.
And it'd catch them.
Okay.
So, but we've had some that wasn't adjusted and they came all the way to the ground. So.
Well, I'm sure that's a mistake they only make once.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Well, I know that, we're saying, emphasize on safety because, I remember seeing events back in the day when, you just fly up that pole and then, take 2 steps on the way back down to try to increase your time. But, like we said, safety's paramount here. And, we definitely want them to be fast and skillful, but, working safe is going to be the primary thing.
Absolutely.
Well, folks, if you're just tuning in, we're about halfway through Power Talk today, and we are visiting with Kevin and Nick about the upcoming Lineman Rodeo, the South Carolina Lineman's Rodeo here at Berkeley Electric Cooperative on what day?
Saturday, March 16th. Action starts about 8 a.m. and will last, 3, 4?
Probably, hopefully, 2.
We guess every year, and we never hit the mark, so it'll be over when it's over, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, mid-afternoon.
Okay.
Mid-afternoon is what we're
That's
thinking.
at our Moncks Corner headquarters, right off of Highway 52. It's a free event.
Yep.
So.
Family friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Open to the public.
Yep.
Absolutely. Come on out and join us.
Yeah, we'll hopefully have plenty of parking. We should. We got a nice new facility here. We should be able to fit lots of folks in.
And shuttles.
And
for
shuttles.
folks with mobility issues.
Yep. So, bring the wives, the kids, the brothers, sisters, bring them all out, for a good old time. There's going to be stuff for them to do, too. We're talking about the kids. We are going to have a kid zone, I believe, for some activities for the kids.
Definitely. And a lot of local vendors from the Low Country will be showcased here, including our Kids Zone vendor. It's good, clean fun, and they're actually tweaking some of the offerings, I understand, to feature some, like the wire and whatnot used. So that'll be a lot of fun and a learning opportunity for the kiddos.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And food vendors for those of you in case you get hungry.
Yeah.
And I think we have a couple special exhibits as well. If the weather holds, we're going to have the Touchstone Energy hot air balloon on site, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can check that out. And then we're also going to have, I think it's a
International Lineman Museum.
International Lineman Museum. We're going to have a live line safety demonstration.
Yep.
That is very neat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love watching. I watch it every year.
Yeah. And what about the helicopter with knives?
Yeah. Sponsored by Ginsu. But yes, we will have a helicopter exhibit that does what they call aerial side trimming, which is the technical term for hanging a bunch of saw blades underneath the helicopter and flying back and forth and cutting tree limbs down.
Yeah.
Which
really
is,
safe.
it's interesting to watch, to say the least.
Absolutely.
From a distance.
Yeah.
For sure.
But lots of good food vendors. Live Oak Smokehouse, local restaurant that has really great barbecue. They'll be here for lunch and breakfast as well. And we're going to have the culinary students from Stratford High School out here selling hamburgers and hot dogs for those who like that sort of thing as a fundraiser for the school. So lots of good things to eat. And, our wire ladies.
That's right.
Women in rural electrification, they're going to have their annual bake sale. If you love your grandma's baking, that's exactly what we're going to have here. I think they're also going to have popcorn and things like that as a fundraiser. So
Coffee bar, wasn't there?
Coffee bar,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember somebody's telling me that. So.
Man, sounds like it's a good. I'm glad I'm going to be out here. It sounds like it's going to be kind of fun. We're hopefully we have a big turnout. I mean, I know we were saying that virtually all the cooperatives statewide are going to be participating. Just about everybody's going to have a team. So, I mean, how many folks are we talking? Like, how many teams? How many apprentices are we talking overall?
We got 15 teams.
15 teams.
60 apprentices.
60 apprentice competitors.
Yep. And
Okay.
then we've got 16 cooperatives throughout the state. This will be
Represented here.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
And we have pretty much close to a record number that we have participating here at Berkeley. Isn't that correct?
We've got 5 teams and 11 apprentices.
Okay.
Yep.
So we've got folks representing from the upstate, PD, low country, and beyond. We're covering the whole coast to coast here in the co-op land.
So the rodeo got started right before COVID disrupted everything for a while. Where all has it been throughout the state?
2019 we started at PD Electric.
Okay.
And then COVID hit. We did Ori Electric in 2022.
Okay.
And then Palmetto last year, and now Berkeley this year.
Awesome.
Yep.
And next year we'll be at York Electric Co-op.
Yep.
So it's in the works. We're working on that.
Yeah.
So
From the low country to the upstate. Like I said, we're traveling, folks.
Everywhere
we're traveling.
in between.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about, the linemen here and the rodeos. After you finish at the South Carolina rodeo, so like for top finishers, I guess what's next? What do you do once you reach the pinnacle? Once you reach the top of the pole?
you wait for the next year and come back to it again. Some co-ops are different. I mean, there's some that allow their their competitors, their winners, if they have some folks that place well. They'll send them to other rodeos throughout the nation. The Gaff and Go is a big one. It's up in Virginia. Some folks send their folks there, and then you have another big one is the International Rodeo in Kansas City.
Awesome.
Some folks have been there. I've been to all. I haven't competed in them, but I've been to watching. They're very neat events, very good events to go to.
Fun.
So
So we send our guys to the Gaff and Go, right?
We do. Yep.
And one time to the international, I believe.
We've been international a couple times.
Yep.
We have. Yep.
And each rodeo is a lot different from the one.
Yes. It is. Especially the international. It is a lot different.
What makes it so different? I know that they've got a lot of union folks up there,
Correct.
and
Yeah.
and
It's just different than what we're used to.
it's a lot. It's you think of any utility, that's who it would be. It's IOUs, it's municipalities, it's military, it's cooperatives. There's probably more, and I'm forgetting, but that's public power. I mean, it's a bunch.
So more than just your local co-op folk.
Right. Yep.
So, I mean, like you said, though, it gets you exposed to a wider range of the utility industry, see how other folks do things. I mean, yeah. When it
Gives
comes
you an opportunity to network and meet people too.
Yeah.
So
I
just
mean,
from different, avenues of this nation.
Right. Well, I mean, and you said international too, and I know that we might be a local co-op here, but I mean, we've done some international work through NRECA. I know there's a lot of international outreach where they go out and they help developing nations get electrical infrastructure. So I mean, even the co-ops are involved on that international stage.
Right.
So it's something definitely to take a look at. But I'm sure that once we get through here at Gaff and Go, I mean, South Carolina Lineman's Rodeo, we'll have a few folks running up to Virginia, I'm sure.
That's the plan.
Well, before we jump, too far ahead, we definitely want to make sure that we have a big crowd here at our local South Carolina Lineworkers Rodeo on March the
16th.
There we go.
Action starts at 8 a.m.
So everybody make sure you mark your calendars. Nick, we were talking a little bit earlier. You said you competed. How'd you do back in the day?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. No, I fared okay back in the day. When I competed, it was a combination of Santee Cooper and the co-ops.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was both those utilities. Did fairly well my first go at it, but after that, it was a long time before I took any hardware home. I ended up finishing first in the apprentice division my first year overall, so that was really neat. I hadn't been at the co-op 4 months, and I was really shocked. But after that year, we ended up doing a couple journeyman. We had a journeyman team we'd put together, and we did well in some of the individual events, but then we did end up finishing second overall behind Santee Cooper in the rodeo 1 year. So that was neat. That was the last time I brought any hardware home.
So Kevin, you're usually on the other end of the action in the judges circle. What's your role in judging?
I'm the master judge this year on the journeyman events, and Jason Derrick is the master judge on the apprentice side.
So what does it mean to be a master judge?
So we have master judge, then event judges, chief judges, and event judges. So I oversee if there's any questions or anybody wants to challenge a call, we'll get together and talk about it. And
so it's like video replay?
no video.
No video replay. Sorry.
Yep, no video replay. So that's kind of my role.
Well, what are some of the things that the judges are looking for? I mean, for those linemen who might be tuning in, to get that, hopefully to find out what the mystery event is, or what other things do they need to watch out for when they're out there competing?
Just putting the event back the way it was, dropping stuff, cutting out. I mean, it's a lot of different things that can happen that you can lose points. And your goal is to keep 100 points. You start with 100, you want to finish with 100. So it's a lot of things that could go wrong. So.
Well, I mean, now you're sitting in the master judge's chair, I mean, we'll talk about you. What about you back in the day? Did you ever
that's what I want to hear about.
Yeah. I mean, he's about to say, we put Nick to the grill here. So
yeah, so I did compete a couple years when we had it out at Somerset with Sandy Cooper and all. So I did compete a couple years as a team. We did okay a couple times. We had some hardware, but nothing to write home about or brag about. So, but we had it's good. It's a good day. It's a good time. It really is. I look forward to this every year.
Right. And if you're wondering how you might earn some hardware, and if you're interested in pursuing electrical line work, we've been involved with Trident Technical College in building our electrical line worker program.
Yep.
That anybody around, we've got more than one, I think, in the state, but that's the local one that here in our service territory. Where give me a rundown on you can explain exactly what sort of goes on at the electrical line worker program for anybody who might be interested in pursuing a career.
Yeah, so it's a 14-week program. You don't have to know anything. You sign up through Tech, and it just takes you through the basics. You start off with some Ohm's law, basic math, and then you get into basic theory, electrical, and then starting to learn the tools, how to operate the tools, work the tools. You get to run the line truck, bucket truck, and all. It's just kind of breaks the ground a little bit before you start your apprenticeship.
And you graduate with a third class certification?
Yep, third class.
And it's offered the regular academic cycles, so spring semester, fall semester.
Correct.
Yep. And Berkeley Electric has an internship opportunity where they can go to class Monday through Thursday and then work with the crew on Friday and earn some money.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, and any other days they have off, spring, fall break, stuff like that, they can work with us.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things that you'll find out real quickly is if you're afraid of heights.
Yep, you'll learn that very quick.
Absolutely.
I mean, Kevin said math, so I'm out.
Yeah. I went into the classroom one day and I saw the basic math they were doing. More power to them because that's not me on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's right up Nick's alley.
That's my alley right there.
Oh.
Well, folks, we are talking South Carolina Lineman's Rodeo. We are coming up on it. Be here before you know it.
Yeah.
So we are really, really excited to be hosting it for the very first time. Going to be Friday is going to be the vendor day, and maybe some of the what we say with the written tests are going to be out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we're going to have Saturday, going to kick off first thing in the morning, 8 a.m. with the opening ceremony. Going to have events throughout the day. So how many events do each one participate in? You said the apprentices and journeyman linemen both have, 3 events? 4 events.
Including that written test.
Written test is 4.
Okay.
Yep, 3 skills outside.
All right, so that's going to be going on all throughout the day. And then we are going to have an awards ceremony as well. So we're going to be live streaming this one, maybe?
It'll be available on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yep.
So anybody who can't make it out the day of, you are more than welcome to find us on YouTube, watch us here on Power Talk, and then tune in to see who takes home the hardware.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it's important for folks, if they're interested, to try to get here early for the opening ceremony. It's a pretty patriotic
cool.
opening. Can you guys talk a little bit about that? What they can expect?
Sure. We typically have all the co-ops represented that are competing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have individual climbers that will do a flag raising ceremony. We'll raise the American flag, the state flag, and the Touchstone Energy flag on 3 separate poles. Once we get the flag raised, we'll have a national anthem, prayer, and then we'll shoot the gun and get them going.
Yep.
Guns, flags,
South Carolina, what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
We are excited. We're going to have a lot of fun out at South Carolina Lineman's Rodeo. Fellowship, safety, friendly competition.
Cheering on our guys.
We're going to have it all. So make sure you come out and join us. So this is going to be it for your edition of Power Talk. I am Mike Aponte, the Communications and Media Specialist here. Thank you for tuning in. And this is the official broadcast of your electric cooperative. And you can catch up on past episodes on streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio, and get a behind-the-scenes look on Berkeley Electric's YouTube channel. This is Power Talk, signing off.